Chris Carr here, Freedom Home Loans. This is the September 2021 monthly market report. All right, so we're going to go through pending home sales, new listing, affordability, as well as a market update. So I try to keep these to about 20 minutes. I'm going to go ahead, get started, and share my screen here. So hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday. As we transition here to the Freedom Home Loans September 2021 monthly market report. So I'm going to start off with pending home sales since 2012. Okay, so there's some news out there that pending home sales are declining. While they are, I want to bring a lot of context to some headlines that may be out there that people are seeing. So since 2012, we can see a pretty steady and a pretty decent kind of chart pace here, growth here. So you see that huge dip during the lockdown in COVID, and a lot of pent up demand during that time really pushed some pending home sales up higher than historically average. And then you can see over the last couple of months, as this red arrow indicates here, we have gone down a bit. So pending home sales are down. The market is softening just a little bit. But again, adding a little bit more context to this, 100 is a historically healthy level of pending home sales. So you can see as the chart kind of progresses there for the last 10 years almost, we've been floating around that healthy level. Now, while pending home sales are down from historic highs just a few months ago, it is declining, but still somewhat decent amount above the historical average. And then we'll go to the quote here that I want to bring a lot of kind of awareness to. We are seeing some signs of softening in the housing market, softening. But context is important. And that's what I'm gonna go through and focus on for this monthly market report. We're still very much in a seller's market, but we are seeing some early signs of softening, okay? Context, I'm gonna hit the nail on the head there several times through this presentation. So we go back, if you followed some previous monthly market reports that we've done, showing time, a monthly index, all right? So over the past couple of years, since 2020 and through most of 2021, you can see the red on the far left, March and April of 2020, when we went into the lockdown, showing activity went down significantly. And we look trailing over the last 3 or 4 months, showing activity has gone down, okay? But again, context here, right? In July 2019, I don't think 2020 is really a year to focus too much on when we're looking at the bigger picture. 2020 was an odd year and really not consistent with more historical data. So in July 2019, the showing time monthly index was 123. So 123 minutes of showings per property on average is what that was in July 2019. Today, still 190. So over an hour and a half showing time per property, sorry, 2.5 hours. If I can get my math right, 3 hours showing time per property, still pretty far above the historical average. So again, hitting more context there. This is a long quote. I'm going to summarize it a little bit in the next slide. But the U.S. housing market continues to be ultra competitive even as new COVID cases surge. But new data shows the level of competition and ensuring price increases may be cooling off just slightly. Data shows that 49.6%, so almost half of the homes sold for more than the initial list price in July. Far ahead of the number in 2020, which was 26%, and just slightly off June's average of about 54%. So this is a lot of text here. Let me break this down here in a little chart. So percentage of homes selling over list price, July 2020, 26.8%. And the last months that we have data here, June and July, roughly 1 in 2 homes are selling above the list price. Okay, so again, more context here. New monthly listings. This is brand new listings coming to the market from 2017 to 2021. Okay, new monthly listings. So we can see the historic trend, 2017, 2018, 2019, kind of builds up over the spring, hits a peak in the summer, and starts to cool down all the way through December. You can see in 2020, the orange line here, when we hit lockdown, massive drop in new listings, mainly driven by uncertainty. People didn't know what to expect. They didn't know about jobs. They didn't know about, housing needs, affordability. Could they make their payments, forbearance, all these kinds of things that created uncertainty, significantly dropped the new monthly listing counts, and people actually pulled listings off the market as well. So you can see a huge gap between historical numbers and 2020. Jumping into 2021, we can see we're following more of the trend, still a significant gap from January through June in July, but we're starting to bridge that gap. So this is primarily the main reason why home price appreciation has shot through the roof in double digits over the past couple of years. If we, from this point on for the rest of the year, if we see a little bit more homes come to market, that will increase, that'll probably slow down a little bit of the appreciation. And if we don't, we'll probably continue at a pretty higher than average pace. So we do expect a little bit more listings to come to the market over the winter as more people have gained back some certainty in their lives. And a lot of this pent up indecisiveness or lack of decision making for people listing their homes has started to settle, and we're seeing people pick up. So this should be or could be really a really strong winter market if you look again with context at the historical averages. Danielle Hill here, chief economist for Realtor.com. If these changing inventory dynamics continue, we could see a wave of real estate activity heading into the later part of the year, right? Just exactly what I said. So now we're going to transition to topic number 2, affordability. Okay, so you can see news headlines. I see them, I read them. Hey, home prices are increasing, homes are less affordable. While that is true, you can see a couple of things here. I'm going to go into mortgage payments, some appreciation affordability index, and talk about renting. Okay, so monthly mortgage payment increasing significantly, maybe a headline. It's gone up 20% in the past year, right? So we look at this chart, monthly mortgage payment increasing, right? So with home prices going up, with people doing cash out refinances to do debt consolidation, home improvements, or just build up other investment accounts, that has led to higher mortgages and therefore higher monthly payments. If we look at the affordability over the past several months or the first half of this year, you can see affordability continues to decrease, right? January was 186. Homes were very affordable, primarily driven by low interest rates. We can see over the past couple of months, rates have ticked up a bit, and in particular over the past week or so, rates have ticked up a bit. Affordability does continue to decrease again, but I want to keep this in context. If we look all the way back to 1990, and I showed this graph last month, if we go back to 1990 to 2008, that's a 18-20 year span there, homes are still more affordable today than they were during those roughly 2 decades prior to the housing crash. Now, affordability is primarily driven by wages, home prices, and interest rates, right? So still an amazing time, very affordable historically, outside of the 5-6 years during the Great Recession, to buy and own a home. If we look at the historical average, right, 146, we're well above almost we are well above every time period from 1990 to 2008. Now, I'm gonna talk about rent a little bit. So I've showed this graph before several months ago, but the median asking price for rent since 1988. All right. I think this chart pretty much explains itself, right? Rent has increased pretty much every single year since 1988. That is great for landlords, right? So we have a lot of investor clients that own rental properties. I own rental properties myself. This is a good thing for a landlord, right? But on the flip side of that, for people that are renting, maybe they're unsure, right, about home prices are going up, rates are going up. I'm going to wait and see, wait for this market to soften a little bit. Keeping in mind that rent increases are pretty much keeping pace with home price appreciation. So we have two things I'm going to show you here that we typically do and provide for our realtor partners. That's a rent versus own analysis and a cost of waiting analysis. So this is a couple months old, but the rent versus own analysis, right? So we use kind of software that explains this pretty simply and quickly to our borrowers. If you look at the monthly rent here, this is based on Colorado Springs, a monthly rent of about $1,900 for a $400,000 home. On the right-hand side, you can see own $400K home. That's a $400,000 home, which is about the median home price here in Colorado Springs. And I would say this is probably like a 3.2, 4.2, something like that, entry-level home, first-time home buyer type thing, where the rent equivalent to that's going to be about a $1,900. So we own 3 rentals here in the Springs. They are rented for $1,950, $2,150, and $2,000, right? Pretty much the exact same here, and they appraise between $360,000 and $420,000. So I'm taking real context information that we use personally. That monthly rent payment, $1,900, if you pay that for 5 years, hey, I just want to wait. I'm not ready to buy yet. And some people just aren't ready to buy, but the indecisiveness for the people that have the ability financially to afford a home will pay rent of $114,000, not factoring in any growth over those 5 years. So the net worth in 10 years of renting is 0. Conversely, owning a home, a $400,000 home, monthly payment $1,971. Equivalent monthly payment, right? This is at a 3.125% interest rate, about where we are today. Principal paid in 5 years, $41,000. So you will pay $41,000 increase in your net worth, paying down that principal for what you owe in the home, compared to $114,000 out the door to your landlord. Great for landlords, not great for renters. Net worth in 10 years, based on forecasted appreciation, $361,000, right? $361,000 between home price appreciation and principal reduction. Again, if you own rental properties, you can look at it that way. Hey, in 10 years, my renter, not including cash flow, but my renter will increase my net worth by $361,000 in 10 years for every property that I own. Next is the cost of waiting analysis, right? So I'm not sure. I don't want to buy right now. I heard home prices are going up. I'm going to wait for them to fall down, which they're not. They're not forecasted to. Or rates are going up. I'm going to wait for rates to go back down. They're most likely not going to. If we look at waiting 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years from making a decision to become a homeowner or to buy a home, with even just keeping the interest rate the same, which rates are going up, these are the total losses between home price appreciation and principal reduction for a homeowner. If you look at 6 months, I'm just not quite ready yet. I'm going to wait this out until the market loosens, right? It's probably not going to happen. But if you do, that 6 months is going to cost you $15,000 in net worth. You wait 2 years, that indecisiveness or inability is going to cost you $64,000 in net worth. In 3 years, almost $100,000. You understand the average person doesn't retire with a net worth of $100,000. Waiting 3 years and making smart home ownership and mortgage decisions can create generational wealth, and that's what we're here to help explain. Okay, so percentage of income needed for a mortgage payment increasing as home prices continue to climb. This is a headline, right? So you can see the steep increase here in that red section of this line. It has gone up as a percentage of income needed for a mortgage payment. It's gone up from 14.4% to 17%. So 17% of your income needed for a mortgage payment. Again, I want to add a little more context here. The historical norm is 21%. That's the percentage of your gross income needed for a mortgage payment. I'm going to give a little bit more context here from what some of the professionals are saying. Freddie Mac and their Essential Guide to Creating Home Buying Budget, they recommend that you spend no more than 28% of your gross monthly income on your mortgage payment. That's including principal, interest, tax, and insurance, or PITI. National Association of Realtors, NAR, what do they say? They say 25% of the mortgage payment takes in consideration homeowners have other expenses such as property insurance, taxes, utilities. So essentially they're saying 30%. So NAR is saying no more than 30%. These are realtors, right? So we are personally, our company vision and what we're about, we're not about maxing out people's, this is essentially in the mortgage industry called a front end ratio, what you can afford in your housing expense. We are not fans of maxing people out with their monthly budget. Things come up in life, things come up in home ownership. You need to be able to have a little bit of a cushion there to make sure that the home is more affordable, right? So here we go, Freddie Mac 28%, NAR 30%. And currently we're at 17%, right? So the headlines, go back a couple. The headlines, you need more money to afford a mortgage these days. While that is true, the historical norms 21%, and the getting a call, and then the professionals, NAR's guidance 25%, historical average 21%. We're still well below those numbers. So again, more context. Okay, so I'm going to end this section with homes are less affordable. That's true. That's completely true. But they're not unaffordable. Historically, still well above where we've been in the past. 5 reasons today to for the housing market is anything but normal. So the housing market section, the third section here, and I'll conclude with this monthly market update. Normal, right? Conforming to a type, conforming to a type, standard, or regular pattern characterized by that which is considered usual, typical, or routine. Normal. Okay. I'm going to go into a handful of reasons of why this is not a normal market. Number 1, mortgage rates. Okay. Historical mortgage rates by decade. 70s, 8%. 80s, 12% average. 90s, 8, 2000s, 6, 2010s, 4. We've been at 3 for the latter part of a couple of years, and 2s in some instances. So historical rates, mortgage rates, we are significantly below, historically what rates have been, right? So that's one thing why it's not normal. Rates are not normal right now, and they haven't been for quite a while. If we look at this is the mortgage rates by Freddie Mac, 30-year fixed across the board. Now, there has been a little bit movement in the past week or so where rates are probably closer to about 3%, 3.1% today compared to this graph here ends on September 2nd. So as of today, it's closer to about 3%, more or less, close enough. 2.87%, right? So 2.87% versus these historical averages is just not normal. Home price appreciation. So annual appreciation across the board since 1995, including pretty significant drops through the Great Recession, 4.14%. So little caveat here, real estate is super local, right? So your individual markets may or may not have gone up or gone down more than this. This is a national number. Most of the markets that we're in, Colorado Springs, San Antonio, Dallas, have seen more appreciation than this and did not see near the reduction from 2006 to 2011. All right. So annual home price appreciation across the board, we're at 14% nationally, right? I think we're at 19%, 18, 19% in Colorado Springs, double digits in DFW and San Antonio as well. Not average, not normal, right? Not normal home price appreciation. Number 3, months supply of inventory. I think we're all aware of this. Month supply refers to the number of months it would take for the current inventory of homes on the market to sell given the current sales pace. Historically, 6 months of supply is associated with moderate price appreciation. That's kind of a neutral market, a buyers and a sellers kind of market, right in the middle, 6 months. And a lower level of month supply tends to push prices up more rapidly. And we are nowhere near normal for months inventory of homes for sale. Going back the past 10 plus years, we're at 2.6 months inventory, right? Nowhere near the historical average. This is not normal. Days it takes to sell a home. I got 2 more left. So this is number 4, days it takes to sell a home. Average days on the market. We go back to March 2019 here in this graph, in the 40s, and then 19, 20, 2020, the years kind of as we progress, it's gone down significantly since COVID, right? February and March of 2020, it looks 36, 29 months. We've seen nothing but decreases in the average days on market. Putting your home on the market, selling in 17 days, and in some areas a lot faster than that. As a national average from the National Association of Realtors, 17 days is not a normal market. All right. Number 5, number of offers per listing. So again, real estate is hyper local. Really depends on what market you're in. Historically, about 2.5 offers per house is normal. We're at 4.5. I've seen upwards of 40, 50 offers on houses recently, well within this time range of this past summer. Nowhere near a normal market for the number of offers per listing. Okay. Then the home price forecast for 2022, right? I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to just, put on the brakes here. I hear home prices are going up too high. Affordability is going through the roof, or affordability is getting less affordable. I'm going to wait it out. If you wait it out, the average of, kind of the big 5 that we look at here for home price forecast for 2022, MBA has 8.4%, Freddie Mac, HPS, Fannie Mae, all about 5%, and NAR at 3.1. Again, real estate is hyper local. Some markets are going to probably see significantly more than the national average, where markets that are less volatile, more stable, and more consistent. The senior economist at Realtor.com, I expect an unusually busy fall season. Sellers are putting homes on the market. Normally this activity happens early in the spring. Again, that pent up demand from the charts that I showed kind of early on. You can go back and take a look at those. I'm going to end with 2 things. That is our 2021 home buyer and home seller guides are available. If you'd like to obtain a copy, please let me know. This kind of goes through a handful of things, topics of importance for buying homes and selling homes in the fall of 2021. Again, those are available, and I'll launch an email blast and probably put those on social media as well next week. But they are available right now. Lastly, I had some people ask for references from the last slide. I'm gonna go ahead and just go through these 2. If you want, you can pause and take a look at these resources here. But that concludes the Freedom Home Loan September 2021 market report. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Again, try to keep these about 20 minutes or so. I think it went a little bit over, but a lot of information here in the September report. Again, our fall home buyers and home seller guides are out. Please contact me if you'd like a copy. I'll be sending those out via email and social media next week. Have a wonderful rest of the week, guys. Again, Chris Carr here, Freedom Home Loans, your September 2021 monthly market report. Thank you.